Welcome back. We'll be starting the newspaper reviews with The Nation. Major headline: While military can't come back to power, by General Abdulsalami. FBN Holdings PLC delivers stellar financial performance. Profit increased to 0.9 trillion, up 142%. Federal government sets 25.2 trillion targets for FIRS. American aircraft collision claims 65 passengers, 4 crew members. We have another story here. Suspected headers kill 5 Ondo farmers. Edo Tribunal admits 148 BVAs. That's BVA's machine in evidence. What stories do we have in The Nation?
So I have the major headline. The former Milad, General Abdulsalami Abubakar, but it wasn't at the event. He was represented at the event by another general. It was at the 100 years of political parties evolution in Nigeria, 1923 to 2023, by the Interparty Advisory Council, IPAC, in Abuja. And that was a book launch. The book title is what I just read out. And it says that there's no alternative to civil rule. And that's, we know, for this number of years that we've done it, 25 years, is laudable. He talks about how he was privileged to have handed this country from military rule to civil rule. He was represented by General Abdulrasheed Aliyu, and they spoke on the imperative of Nigeria's political stability, issues and solutions. And also the INEC chairman was there. He urged parties to promote internal democracy. General Abdulsalam said that the fact that democracy survived the country for 25 years attested to Nigeria's resilience and belief in representative governance. Seeing what is happening around us in our West African countries, you know, this is very apt at this time. It says this is our 26th year of unbroken democracy in Nigeria and the longest period of constitutional governance since October 1st, 1960. And we must remember where we are coming from so that we do not go back to, you know, the chaos that existed at the time. It's also important that in democracy, we practice democracy, fairness, justice, balance, transparency, all the important values are, you know, done, as opposed to classing it, which we see, you know, under capitalism.
Which other stories do we have?
So I have the Federal Inland Revenue Service, FIRS, has a mandate to generate 25.2 trillion in tax revenue this fiscal year. This executive chairman, Dr. Zach Adedeji, had confirmed this yesterday. This is because they achieved, 21.6 trillion last year, which surpassed their target of over 19 trillion, which was their goal. So I'm sure for the fact they did that, they want to keep raising the bar. Adedeji described the 2024 performance as a landmark in Nigeria's tax administration history. He also said that this was pivotal in laying a solid foundation for transforming the FIRS into a globally recognized, efficient and trusted revenue authority. It marked a period of strategic growth, positioning the service as a cornerstone of Nigeria's economic progress. And this also shows that Nigerians are paying tax. So that's, I don't know why you're laughing. That's a good thing, because these monies did not fall from heaven. People and companies paid the tax. So, that's laudable.
We're paying.
Yes,
it's just that they want to capture more people.
Yes, but it's also important that when we get value for the tax that we are paying, and we're saying that, this administration, we are building roads, infrastructure, things are actually happening. So that will also encourage Nigerians to do more.
Yes. I have our president has expressed deep sadness over the tragic air accident that occurred on Wednesday evening in the Potomac area of Washington, D.C. They said a military helicopter crashed into a commercial jet mid-air close to the U.S. seat of power on Wednesday night, leaving more than 60 persons dead. Our president, on his official X handle, extended Nigeria's condolences to the families of the victims, the people of the United States, and those affected by the incident. He also reaffirmed Nigeria's solidarity with the United States. He emphasized shared grief and hope for a brighter future. He says Nigeria stands in solidarity with the United States government and its people, united in grief and hopeful for a new day. They said this accident has sent shockwaves across the United States. I was, watching the news. They said this is the first time in 15 years that they've had an air accident that involved a commercial airline, and our heart goes out to them. Their president, but can I read what their own president tweeted? Okay, so their president says that the airplane was on a perfect and routine line of approach to the airport. The helicopter was going straight at the airplane for an extended period of time. He says it is a clear night. The lights on the plane were blazing. Why the helicopter didn't go up or down or turn? He says, why didn't the control tower tell the helicopter what to do instead of asking if they saw the plane? This is a bad situation that looks like it should have been prevented. Not good.
So the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has projected that diaspora remittances are expected to rise to 31.7871 trillion when the fourth quarter 2024 figures were released. The substantial increase in diaspora remittances was attributed to the reforms carried out by the CBN, especially the foreign exchange reforms designed to attract more FX into the country. They said the developments will further strengthen FX supply and contribute to Naira stability. So we need to recall that the diaspora remittances rose from 12.478 trillion in 2023 to 22.734 trillion by the end of the third quarter in 2024. And the CBN governor, Olayemi Kadoso, spoke at the 2025 Monetary Policy Forum, which brought together ministers, heads of government agencies involved in economic matters, and private sector stakeholders, and they were disclosing that without the decisive policy interventions, the country's inflation rate would have soared to 42.81% by December 2024. So they said that without these decisive policy interventions, inflation would have reached that height, and they are assuring the bank of their commitment to tackling inflation in 2025 using orthodox monetary policy measures. And he said that they have bold policy measures that they're going to be using. They talked about the Monetary Policy Committee, that's the MPC meetings. They are going to be raising the monetary policy rates, that's the MPR, by a cumulative 875 basis points to 27.5%, increasing the cash reserve as well, that's the CRR, of other depository corporations. All this English they spoke is only my husband that can understand. The bottom line of the matter is that they are trying as much as possible to fight inflation, and we can hear that the dollar is already falling. I think about 1,600 years. That's what we are getting, to a naira right now, and hopefully we'll see how that goes. Let's move on now to the Punch. Major headline: stakeholders demand Wike Bauchi governor truce as governors meet today. Domestic shortfall: NNPC marketers import 633 million litres of fuel. 67 dead as plane helicopter collide mid-air in the US. South Africa, Rwanda clash over DR Congo conflict. APC, PDP differ over Amechi's power-drunk politicians' comment. Herdsmen kill 5 laborers on Ondo farm. Lagos Assembly insists of Basa's removal legal as DSS grills lawmakers. Banks complied with court ruling on ex parte Mareva order. We'll take a story and do a short break. Who's ready to go? Okay,
so South Africa and Rwanda have decided to, engage each other, join issues, while democratic Congolese are being killed. So there's, presently a war in Congo where Rwanda is insisting they want to ensure that the, what's the forces called? Congolese are being fought for space in Congo right now. And the BBC reports that Paul Kagame is accusing South Africa of being a part of a belligerent force involved in offensive combat operations to help the Congolese government fight against its own people. Rwanda has their border, they know their border, but they're there right now, killing, causing chaos. South Africa lost 14 of their 13 South African soldiers were killed in the fighting last week, and the upper week they had lost about 7 South African soldiers, and they are supposed to be helping the Congolese. But Rwanda says while they're there, they are engaging them, and these two countries have had their relationship, soared over the years. In 2014, South Africa expelled 3 Rwanda diplomats after an attack on the home of an exiled Rwanda dissident in Johannesburg. And Kagame responded by expelling 6 South African envoys in his country. Tensions seemingly were calmed when South Africa president attended the 30th anniversary of the genocide in Rwanda. But I am personally pained, that Africans would engage each other over interest of outsiders. So we know the Congolese war is basically about minerals, and it is about the Westerners trying to get these minerals. If the two countries will do anything, is to ensure that the people of the Congo are safe and are at peace, and that place is settled, and they help develop it. They should not be joining forces and fighting each other over this, while the Congolese are being killed in mass and displaced in millions. It's just very sad.
It's a very
All
sad
right,
situation.
we'll be taking a breather here. When we come back, we continue the newspaper reviews. Stay with us.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.